Jared, were you just a little pissed off after that first one, or like what did it fire you up so you could hit 2 home runs, or what was going on?
I don't know. I mean, I saw the ball well tonight. I've been working with Coach Johnson, Coach Wanaka in the cages, and it just paid off. You know, after the first one, just kind of kept taking my swings. I don't know.
Were you hunting a certain pitch tonight?
Just a pitch in the zone that I could put a barrel on. That's all I was doing.
Coach was talking about you doing a lot of extra work on your own. What's kind of been what you've been doing, and what do you think had you in that little funk past couple games?
Just kind of simplifying everything down. I think I got way too out of my approach at the plate earlier in the year, so just kind of getting back to how my swing has always been, keeping it simple, foot down, and hit a ball in the zone.
This might sound like a dumb question, but have you always been one of the bigger guys on the field?
For sure. I mean, I grew early, and my dad had me playing football, and so I've always been a bigger guy and just kind of was able to grow into my body, so I'm lucky for that.
So you're used to hitting these 400-foot moonshots?
I don't know about that far, but, you know, as the velo speeds up, it's obviously they supply a little bit more power behind it.
What'd you play football?
I was an offensive lineman.
Why is your nickname Bear?
So it's kind of a long story, but I'll try and shorten it up. My brother, I have an older brother, he's 5 years older. When he was born, my parents had a moose encounter, so his name is Moose. And then when I came along, my mom called me Jer Bear as a nickname, and then my dad kind of like cut off the Jer because started calling me Bear, and it stuck.
A moose encounter.
Yes, in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
So like, did the moose run into them, or did they just see the moose?
They
like,
just saw the mooses.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. But
that is a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's Moose and I'm Bear.
Just, I mean, you and Paxton have really come along very quickly here in your first years. Just what kind of dynamic do you think this freshman class has brought to this team so far?
It's special. I think we had a lot of help with older guys. Cade Beloso, Gavin Dugas have done a really good job of just kind of pushing us into that role. Same with Coach Johnson. And they're with us every step of the way. You know, they have our back no matter what, through ups and downs.
When you hit a ball like that second, or really either one of them tonight, is it hard to stay within yourself and not swing more for those types of balls?
I think early on in the year, you saw I kind of got outside of myself once I started having a little bit of success, you know, swinging the bat hard. And kind of tonight, after the second one, I realized if I just take my nice and easy, smooth swing, I can have more success that way. So for the third one, it was just kind of, or third hit, second home run, it was just kind of my nice, easy swing. I got a little big on that fastball that I swung and missed on, so I just kind of figured slow everything down, simplify, and just kind of take my swing.
The first one, it just hit too low. I mean, it looked like it could have gone forever, but.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of topspin on it. I have no idea if it got out or not. I didn't obviously see the replay, but the way it bounced, I thought it had gotten out, so I'm rounding first base, and Chief's like, you know, where are you going? I was like, huh? But it is what it is.
Probably the longest single you've ever hit.
Yeah, probably.
You hit it too hard.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Do you think it was out?
I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't seen the video, so I didn't hear the chain link fence like sound or anything. So I'm guessing not then, because normally like when it's a home run, you can hear it hit the bleachers or the chain link fence.
I mean, is this kind of the best rhythm you think you've ever been in as a pitcher in terms of just consistency week to week, start to start? Just what have you thought about, I guess, your first four starts here with the bigger sample size?
Yeah, I think the focus has just been getting better each week. That's always been the focus. And you know, I've been happy with where I'm at since the fall. I was happy with where I was at last year. I was happy with where I was at in high school. And to be honest, the focus has just been controlling what I can control, controlling the process. And I think that showed up really well, so I'm super happy with that.
Are you building on things start to start, or are you working on specific things, or is it just execute?
Yeah, absolutely. I think within executing the game plan against the other team, obviously that changes week to week, but you know, introducing some more pitches, controlling the execution of those pitches within the game plan. That's been the only thing that I've been worried about, and I've been really pleased with that throughout the year.
seemed like you were mixing your pitches a little bit more tonight, like throwing more of the slider. How was that feeling for you?
Sliders felt good all year. I think today we had to use it a little bit more, and today we could use it a little bit more, obviously with more righties. But I was super happy with that today.
What pitch was best working for you tonight?
Fastball, I think.
Where's the changeup in your mind?
Before this year, it was my second pitch, and I think, to be honest, it probably still is. It's tough a little bit to throw it to some of these hitters because it is a pitch that could speed up some guys' bats. So we have to think about that as we go into each game, and setting it up with the right pitches. Usually fastball. So that's been the game plan, and like really just pulling it out when I can and when I feel I need to. Today I probably could have gone the whole outing without throwing it, and I wanted to work on it. Get it out a little bit there today.
Speed-wise, what is it normally?
Usually 88, 92.
The physicality of this team, like in two players alone, you and Jared there. You pitching, him hitting. I mean, can you guys speak to that? Just the strength of you two guys alone.
Yeah, Bear's been he's been blessed with a really good upbringing. Obviously, I think he said his dad had him playing football, or he was playing football, and obviously with that, there's a lot of weight training. I didn't pick up a weight until end of my freshman year in high school, and so my transition to my physicality now has been a little bit different than his, but that's been a big focus throughout the fall, and now getting strong, keeping the strength on. Right now, we're still trying to get stronger, and that was a big point of emphasis. When we showed up in the fall, and I think we've done a really good job with that.
Who are some of the other pitchers that you like to pick their brains in terms of on the staff, and just picking their brains in terms of that pitch is interesting, let me try that, or that sequencing is interesting, and let me try that?
Literally all of them. Literally all of them. The nice thing about our pitching staff is that we have so many guys who think the game the right way. Coop came in today after not pitching for a while, and he's one of the guys that I think, on the higher end of the thinking spectrum, I would say. He thinks the game really well. He knows how his stuff plays to hitters, and obviously he's a lefty. Like, he and I have very little in common, but he's still a guy that I can pick his brain on. So literally all of them, just talking to them about how they pitch, how they execute, and what their approach is of each guy.
Do you have an example of that at all, with Riley or with someone else?
Yeah, I talked with Grant a lot before the season. He and I are obviously different pitchers. He's a high vert guy. He throws a curveball, slide. He throws, it seems like 7 pitches, and they're all really, really good. I'll talk to him literally every day about how he goes about those pitches. We were talking about him throwing a sinker yesterday, which from his arm slot, I don't know how anybody would hit that, and the fastball and the cutter. But I was talking with him about that, and obviously I'm a low slot sinker guy, and I've been talking to him about the curveball too, bringing that in. So that's something that comes to my head recently, because we were talking about that yesterday at Shaq and BP.
I think I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go ahead.
I think your pitch count was around 90 today. Just how have you liked the evolution of just being, kind of working into the season, and obviously with SEC play coming up next weekend, do you feel like your arm's as healthy and as strong as it's ever been because of that?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously that piece of it and the strength and conditioning piece we've done a really good job with. I think I'm in a really good spot, going into SEC play, and I'm super happy with how my body's been feeling throughout the week. I think I'm in a good spot with that.
It's your 4th straight game with double-digit strikeouts. Is that something you pay attention to? Is it validating for you, and the reason why you came to LSU, or how do you view that?
Yeah, I want to say last year the most strikeouts I had in a game was 10, and that was in 8 innings or something like that, and probably 120 pitches. That's been a point of emphasis for sure, executing my kill pitches. But to be honest, I think, chasing strikeouts isn't what we're, trying to do as a staff. When we get them to 2 strikes, we're going to try to execute that pitch, obviously, because, if they don't hit the ball, then that's probably the best thing that can happen. And so obviously that's been a big piece of big point of emphasis. But I think the things that go into that, like winning 2 out of the first 3, landing a breaking ball in there, third time through the order, throwing a changeup to a righty, like stuff like that is what leads to that. And I think that's something that a lot of people, a lot of fans don't understand, and that's what I've been super happy with.
I think it was the second inning that they had the jam or whatever that you got out of. I mean, I know you don't want anyone to reach base, but did it feel kind of good to have runners in scoring position? You get out of it because you haven't had those situations a lot this year.
I wouldn't say it felt good. I obviously wouldn't. I don't want anybody to get on base, but they executed a really good hit and run with the 8 or 9 hitter. Made some pitches to get out of it. Like that's the game, and anybody can be good when there's nobody on base. But I think controlling what we can control, executing our pitches, and doing that kind of thing, not just me, but as a staff, I think that's something that we've been really good at and something that we can continue to improve on.
You said you felt really good heading into SEC play. Did this start kind of have some sort of meaning to that in terms of, okay, it's my last start before we get into conference play, or any of that? No?
Maybe a little bit. Looking, obviously, we know that we have Texas A&M next week, but the point of emphasis for this week was just executing against Samford, and that's the biggest thing that we did. And so I'm super happy with how today was.
So, just out of curiosity, I mean, now that you're done for the weekend, will you start looking ahead to A&M, or are you kind of just wait until after the weekend, kind of with the rest of your guys start looking at all that stuff?
Probably a little bit of both. I'll start doing some digging on my own, some of my own scouting work. Probably watch one of their games this weekend. But yeah, there's no reason to not know as much as we can about them, and that's kind of the approach that we've had going forward. But I don't think I'm going to change a whole lot about my process throughout the week.
What's sort of your process when it comes to scouting another team? Like, how do you sort of research it and all that sort of stuff?
Watch their hitters as much as possible. We get, obviously, a scouting report from the coaches, but I'm the type of guy that I want to know, what I can about them, and know that my knowledge is concrete rather than trusting someone else's word. Not that Coach Wes and everybody who does our scouting, not that they do a bad job, but because what they do just validates what I find. So, but that's how I'm looking forward to it. Just getting as much information as I can on them and executing.
Do you have like a meeting during the week with Wes and maybe someone else in terms of just going over what to do, basically? Yeah.
What specific things you look for in a batter when you scout other teams?
Just their weaknesses and strengths. If their weaknesses align with my strengths, then that's a really good thing, and all I have to do is execute. And yeah, it's a number of things, I think, but that's pretty much it.